association with the Mohammeds defends use of bulletproof vehicle loaned to him by the Mohammeds. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Friday, June 21 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We have what you need to know this evening. We begin your broadcast by telling you that 2 weeks before the closure of schools across Guyana, teachers will return to the classroom now that an agreement has been reached with the MOE. More details in this report. The more than 70 days of industrial action by Guyana teachers will finally come to an end now that the Guyana Teachers Union, the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Labour have agreed on the terms of resumption when they met on Friday morning.
We were able to agree on the terms of resumption. The normal clause within the term of resumption, which indicates that there will be no victimization, persons will not lose their seniority and stuff like that. But key to this would be the clause that allows us to return in the new week to have conciliation on the time frame.
That's President of the Guyana Teachers Union, Dr. Mark Light, confirming that teachers will return to the classroom by next Tuesday. The GTU president said this will now pave the way for conciliation talks.
Both parties have agreed to be bound by the 1990 the Grievance and Procedure Memorandum. And that stipulates the timelines for all the processes. So
the strike has been called off?
Once these are the terms of resumption, so now we will issue a statement to indicate to our members that within 2 working days, they are expected to be back at work.
The GTU, Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Labour have agreed that there will be no victimization, no loss of service, no transfer of teachers upon resumption, and that teachers will return to their respective positions before the strike.
There is no documentation to say that a teacher has to be, there is no policy document to say a teacher has to be there first or last day. But the normal practice that we have seen in the past is that persons have had that happen to them if they didn't report on the first day or the last day. And this is something that a lot of teachers were concerned about, and they raised that during our consultation. So many of them had indicated that whether the strike was called off or not, they were going to resume duty on or before the last day of school.
Asked if the Guyana Teachers Union has reneged on its position that government must make a 20% interim pay increase before the strike is called off, Dr. Light responded.
Prior to the previous sets of meetings, during the lapse between June the 10th and now, we went back to our membership to state the position that the government has adopted. And the members would have indicated to us that they are prepared to allow the process for the process to be followed, minus the interim payment or the cash grant.
The contentious issue, however, remains the same: the negotiating period for the GTU's multi-year proposal. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Our developing story this evening: the allegations against PNCR leader Aubrey Norton will be dealt with in-house. You'll hear more from Antonio Day.
At a press conference held on Friday at Pegasus Hotel, senior officials of the People's National Congress Reform, primarily elders, said that they are equally concerned about the allegations leveled against incumbent leader Aubrey Norton and have vowed to undertake an impartial probe.
But we are equally concerned that any such matters, though manipulated and choreographed to harm the party on its current leadership, should be addressed and that due process should prevail.
Former chairperson of the Congress of Women, Cheryl Sampson, former mayor and elder Hamilton Green, and Central Executive Committee member Father Lawrence said that they are well aware of the negative impact these allegations may have on the party. However, the trio called on members within the party to desist from falling into the trap of distracting and disrupting the party's main focus, which is the 22nd Biennial Delegates Congress, slated for June 28.
In that regard, we call
but caution to allow these internal investigations to follow suit without interferences. Elder Green also echoed sentiments.
Perform tasks with others. I avoided speaking to either of these unnecessary concerns in this matter, or it will be ticketed. The protocols require.
And Green also said that at the level of the party, dominated in the press due to the sensitivity of the issue as the investigations take place. At no point should these investigations be compromised, they noted. Antonio Lee reporting for the
Head of State Irfan Ali has announced that a new task force will be established to monitor port of entries that are accepting gold from Guyana. Here again, Antonio Day.
When we checked with authorities, there were some weaknesses that were identified that require not only Guyana intervention, but intervention with all our partners. So we'll set up a task force that includes the Attorney General, the Minister of Finance, the head of the GRA, Commissioner General, the FIU, head of the FIU, the Governor of the Central Bank, and the Guyana Gold Board.
President Irfan Ali on Thursday afternoon made this announcement in the wake of recent sanctions from the United States Department of Treasury on the Mohammeds and former Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, May Thomas. These sanctions are in connection with allegations of corrupt practices by the trio. The Mohammeds are accused of evading some $50 million in taxes from its export operations. At a press conference, President Ali outlined actions to be carried out by the task force once established.
This body will be set up to examine this and to bring recommendation to us on how we further strengthen the gold exportation. The recent sanctions, as you know, the agencies are currently continuing their work on examining their in an integrated way the implications. We are still awaiting the information on the Mohammeds, but to seek further information at all export locations on gold exported by other gold dealers. So we can have information to see whether it matches what is declared in our system.
President Ali also said that the task force will also be required to explore and strengthen existing measures.
We will now have to work on new bilateral arrangements in areas that we are exporting gold. So there will be new treaty that has to be examined, new partnership agreement, new MOUs. We'll have to improve the coordination among stakeholders.
According to the president, the government will also look at modifying gold exports in adherence to the anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism AML CFT standards.
We're also looking at some of the things discussed in the modernization is whether we should have an export quota on exporters, and how we want to align our national regulations with AML, CFD standards and treat offense of gold smuggling as a predicate offense, which is tax evasion.
Antonio D. reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio, for your reporting. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Say goodbye to germs with a free Sterling Super Soap automatic dispenser. That's right, get free equipment and installation of our touch-free dispenser. The perfect amount of soap every time ensures clean and germ-free hands. Refilling is quick and easy with 4 amazing fragrances: coconut, sunflower sunrise, pink blossom, and citrus zest. Call us on 265-7403.
Krishna Rock Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Rock Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. The Guyanese head of state said he's not compromised by association with the Mohammeds, even though he was loaned a vehicle during his 2020 elections campaign and after Here is more. President Irfan Ali was asked on Thursday to explain his coziness with the Mohammed's family, who was recently sanctioned by the United States. Specifically, journalists wanted to find out from the president if he has now found himself at the center of a conflict of interest, given that he had been using their bulletproof vehicle during his presidential campaign in 2020 and after.
The vehicle that you're speaking about was used during the election campaign and after, when my security apparatus advised me that I needed a safe vehicle because of the distance I was traversing, and in their assessment, the threat that I was exposed to. I didn't hide it. I didn't drive in a tunnel.
President Ali shrugged off the idea of a possible conflict of interest.
I'm not compromised or would not be compromised in any way, shape, or form. Not me.
Historically, according to the president, he shared a close relationship with the Mohammed's family.
I know the Mohammeds. I was at Saints. We went on Fridays. There was a mosque at the top of the building. That's where all the guys from Saints went on Fridays. This is from a religious perspective. So I'm not going to deny that I don't know. Every single leader knows the Mohammed.
The head of state insisted that there is no quid pro quo.
The rule of law is the rule of law. And the rule of law must apply equally for every citizen. No one is above the law. And that is all I want. I want the rule of law to work.
Meanwhile, in the same breath, the president said, considering the sanctions, local banks, the Guyana Revenue Authority, and the Guyana Gold Board have ceased doing business with the Mohammeds. Also, Mr. Nazar Mohammed has since resigned as an elected representative of the People's Progressive Party on the Eccles-Ramsburg Neighborhood Democratic Council. The United States Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control recently sanctioned the Mohammed's family, citing tax evasion, gold smuggling, and public corruption. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Guyana calls for greater accountability, collaboration, and capacity building initiatives to counter threats to cybersecurity at the United Nations Security Council high-level meeting. More from Carice Gonzalez.
The United Nations Security Council convened a high-level open debate on Thursday to address the escalating risk posed by cyber attacks to international peace and security. Hosted by the Republic of Korea, which currently presides over the Council for the month of June, the session saw global leaders emphasize the urgent need for coordinated action in the face of evolving cyber threats. Guyana's Foreign Secretary Robert Prasad, in his address, underscored the profound dangers associated with the malicious use of digital technologies. He highlighted how these threats extend beyond economic implications to jeopardize health, safety, democracy, and the essential functioning of services worldwide. Prasad advocated for robust accountability measures and regulatory frameworks to mitigate these risks effectively. Quote-unquote, the international community must establish oversight mechanisms to guard against sophisticated cyber attacks, Prasad urged. He emphasized the importance of international cooperation and partnership to enhance cybersecurity capabilities and resilience, stressing the need for developed nations to support developing countries in this endeavor through training and financial aid. The debate also emphasized the importance of global regulatory framework to foster responsible behavior in cyberspace. Security Council members unanimously recognize a growing urgency to bolster cybersecurity infrastructure and capacity globally. Prior to the debate, Foreign Secretary Prasad joined Korean Foreign Minister and other council members in reaffirming their commitment to maintaining an open, secure, and peaceful ICT environment in accordance with international law. The discussions underscore the Security Council's increasingly vital role in addressing the peace and security implications of cyberspace in the modern era. As the threats of cyber warfare continue to evolve, the international community remains focused on developing cohesive strategies to safeguard global digital infrastructure and promote stability in cyberspace. I am Carice Gonzalez reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
In the health sector so far for 2024, the Health Ministry would have done 18,500 dengue tests countrywide, with 4,700 persons tested positive, and 398 had to be admitted for care. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, who was at the time speaking on the sideline of the human papillomavirus HPV voucher distribution program at the Autochan Conference Center, said close to 18,500 persons were tested countrywide and 4,700 persons were tested positive.
And of the 4,000 that have tested positive, we have had 398 that had some form of admissions to one of our hospitals.
According to the minister, admissions would have substantially decreased over the past week, with only 10 people being admitted. As of 2024, only 4 people have died as a result of the viral infection transmitted to humans through the bite of an infected mosquito.
So every region we've been doing fogging, plus we've been using some chemicals that can kill the larvae.
He acknowledged 4 strains of dengue, and the first time someone is infected, the symptoms will be very mild, but when reinfected with a different strain, some persons can develop complications.
In a lot of the people that we're testing, we would have seen that they have had a previous infection.
Just recently, Region 6 East Berbice quarantine would have recorded over 500 dengue cases so far for the year. According to the regional chairman, the mosquito infestation remains a serious problem.
January 22, February 61, March 105, April 124, May 199, and 54 so far in June.
Tiana Ko reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana. There is more news ahead. Stay with us.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Guyana, on August 1st, 2024, all roads lead to the National Park as the African Cultural and Development Association, ACTA, hosts its 31st annual Emancipation Festival, Guyana's biggest cultural festival. Come celebrate our collective African heritage with African food, dance, fashion, history, storytelling, sports, and much more. Gates open at 10 a.m. sharp. Come, let's celebrate our resilient African essence. Harambe, we all pull together.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized gear, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Crow Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. The Guyanese head of state said he's not compromised by association. Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. We tell you now that with the aim of preventing cervical cancer, the Health Ministry on Friday launched its $2.8 billion human papillomavirus voucher program, with women receiving an $8,000 voucher to offset screening costs. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, in delivering the featured address, said cervical cancer is a cancer that is preventable with the right interventions, and that is the aim of the human papillomavirus HPV voucher program. He added that it's for this reason that the government designated $2.8 billion in this year's budget. He added that for the program to be comprehensive, it will be done in 3 phases.
The first phase is really when you can do vaccination to prevent people from getting HPV. And so we have started by targeting children, both male and female, between 9 and 15 years of age.
He added that the ministry is aiming to achieve the World Health Organization WHO number of getting to 90%. The vaccine will be available to health centers countrywide, with persons being able to get the results within 72 to 96 hours.
For the first time in Guyana, we have extended the vaccination beyond 50. So we are now, in addition to the 9 to 15, we are now able to give women from 16 all the way up to 45 this vaccine.
The minister posited that while the focus is on cervical cancer, the ministry will also be looking at different types of cancers in Guyana.
What we need is to make sure that we get people to come and be screened. So we want, at the end of all of this, that we are able to, cover our population with HPV vaccines.
Meanwhile, Director of Primary Health Care Dr. Ertenisa Hamilton, in giving brief remarks, said that the ministry did a review of the cancers for the period 2002 to 2012, and it was revealed that cervical cancer is the second most common.
The large number of persons who were diagnosed were young women in their 30s. And further information would have stated that a lot of the diagnosis within that period would have been in the late stages of the disease.
At the launching ceremony, NGOs, ministries, representatives, and various agencies receive vouchers that will then be distributed to women aged 21 to 65. Last week, the Health Ministry signed several memorandum of understanding (MOU) with private healthcare providers, formalizing their partnership for the cervical screening program. Tiana Ko reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Antonio Day tells us that the drop in upstream investment during the years of the COVID-19 pandemic will affect supply growth up to 2030. This is according to the International Energy Agency's 2024 report titled Oil 2024.
According to a report compiled by the International Energy Agency, known as the IEA, released on June 24th under the title Oil 2024, conventional projects sanctioned in 2019 will add an estimated 2.2 million barrels per day at peak, while new field startups approved in 2020 will only add 1.5 million barrels per day at their maximum. The report informed that projects sanctioned in 2023 are expected to add approximately 2.4 million barrels per day of supply by 2030, led by ExxonMobil's Waro project in Guyana, Equinor Rea's development in Brazil, Eni's full development project of Agogo in Angola, and increased gas liquids for Qatar's new liquefied natural gas projects. The IEA cited that peak production from projects approved in 2021 and 2022 are expected to produce above 2 million barrels per day by 2027 and 2028. The report noted that major developments are concentrated in the Americas, notably Búzios in Brazil, as well as the Sabro Block in Guyana and Whale in the U.S. Gulf of Mexico. Nightly News is in receipt of the 151-page report by the IEA and observed that according to Rystad Energy, 9 billion barrels of conventional resources were discovered in 2023, the lowest level since 2016, with growth concentrated in deep water South America. The report stated that large volumes were found at Sabrok and Corentyne in Guyana. Due to the natural decline of rate of oil and gas production from conventional and tight reservoirs close to 5 million barrels per day of supply needs to be replaced annually to hold production flat. This rate of decline is after capital expenditure and operating expenditure, which represents a global average of close to 5%. The increase in operating expenditure since COVID-19 has helped hold replacement volume steady, even as more output comes from high decline share barrels, the report stated. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The director of the Guyana Tourism Authority is advocating for the spotlight to be placed on indigenous cuisine during this season of Guyana's Restaurant Week. More from Carice Gonzalez.
Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Cameron Bash, during the recent launch of the 17th season of Restaurant Week 2024, advocated for the inclusion of more indigenous cuisines in future editions of the event.
Just as how Jamaica has grown its jerk product to become world famous, we need to do the same for Kasrip. Kasrip is unique to Guyana. The indigenous peoples have refined this and is of course commercially available. We need to hone that in and grow that brand so that Kasrip is synonymous with brand Guyana.
He stresses the abundance of dishes that can be created using the indigenous made Kasrip, suggesting that tourists should be able to enjoy these culinary experiences. He also encouraged small food businesses to incorporate these meals into their menus.
Restaurants across the country, snackets, bars can be offering Kasrip-based dishes.
Yet Bash went on to challenge Omodele George, president of the Tourism Hospitality Association of Guyana, SAG, during Agriculture Month in October, to dedicate a day to challenge chefs throughout Guyana to innovate and create unique Kasrip dishes. Guyana's Restaurant Week 2024, which opens on Friday, is being held under the theme Explore, Eat, Repeat. It runs until June 30. This year's season of Restaurant Week also features a new initiative where an AI agent will be answering questions about the number of participating restaurants, their locations, menus, and much more. So far, 23 restaurants have indicated their participation, with a notable increase in locations outside of Region 4. Persons can visit Starlight Restaurant in Suddy, Region 2, Atlantis Cuisine in Lenora, Region 3, Ambrosia Restaurant in New Amsterdam, Region 6, and Bye Bye Tex-Mex in Region 7. I am Carice Gonzalez reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
So to tell you about my mom and how I lost her, it was a very hard reality for me.
I met Crystal through a friend who asked me to speak to her. The first time I saw her, my spirit just took a liking to her. I see Crystal as my daughter. I haven't given birth to Crystal, but I feel as if I do.
I felt alone. I got that support I needed from her.
I understand that Crystal was a lesbian. I choose to accept and embrace and love everybody. I'm a Christian and I believe we are all God's children. God loves everyone.
There was a time we all get educated enough to know that, you know what, everybody is just the same human.
She never questioned it. She just supported me right through it.
So I see her as a young woman full of potential.
Crystal and every gay and lesbian person should be treated with respect in Guyana.
All the big bands, all the big names from all around the world. The return of the biggest chutney show, Clash of the Titans, June 22nd, the Guyana National Stadium, the ICC Cricket T20 World Cup weekend. This is Clash of the Titans. One big stage, one big night, over 7 big bands, over 40 artists performing June 22nd, the Guyana National Stadium. This is Clash of the Titans.
These nice products I spoke with proper things. Peppies, you get the best and these. Oh no, bless
Okay. Pack up your things. Yellow. Yeah, put the things in the car.
Loving you is easy cause you're beautiful. Do-da-do-da-do. I love you, and you, and you, and you, and you. I love all of you.
Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
And you. I love Peppy.
Step right into the vibrant heart of Guyana with HGP TV's freshest series, Inside Culture. Dive deep into the pulsating core of our spirited nation as we unravel the captivating stories embedded in our arts, music, sports, and beyond. A journey to nurture your soul and celebrate our rich heritage. Join us on HGP TV, where Inside Culture brings you closer to the heart and soul of Guyana, airing Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. and rebroadcasting on Sundays.
Good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news from Venezuela. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro and 7 other candidates for July elections on Thursday signed an agreement to respect the results, although the country's main opposition abstained, saying the government had already breached an existing deal. The 9-point agreement was presented by the National Electoral Council, CNE, Venezuela's highest electoral authority. Main opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez abstained from signing, as did Enrique Marquez. Gonzalez said the opposition had complied with prior conditions for elections established in an agreement signed between the government and the opposition in Barbados last year. After signing the document, Maduro said the act showed, quote-unquote, "We do not want violence. We believe the electoral authority." We now bring you news from Jamaica. 4 months after a mystery shipwreck caused a disastrous oil spill from the Caribbean island of Tobago, Bertrand Smith, Director General of the Maritime Authority of Jamaica, wants more support for the country's maritime planning and the prevention of ghost fishing. The oil leak came from a barge carrying up to 35,000 barrels of fuel oil that capsized in early February off Tobago. Now, should Jamaica experience a major oil spill, Smith questions whether the nation will be ready. For his part, at the Maritime Authority, he said they are currently implementing a global project that will remove and reduce marine litter from the transport and the fishing sectors. But youth leadership is needed to drive the change for a better future for the planet. And now for some international news. The Biden administration will award nearly $110 million in security and police assistance to Haiti. Anthony Blinken made the decision following more than 100 briefings to Congress by the State Department, and that the Biden administration remained committed to working in close consultation with that body. The funds include $95 million for security mission support and $15 million to the Haitian National Police to counter gang violence. Leaders of the Foreign Relations Committees have approval power over the money, but the administration can override their holds if it decides a situation is extreme, enough to warrant going ahead. I am Carice Gonzalez. Thank you for watching.
Teachers strike called off. GTU MOE reach agreement. PNCR to conduct inquiry into allegations leveled against the party leader. And President says he's not compromised by association with the Mohammeds. Defends use of bulletproof vehicle loaned to him by the Mohammeds. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.